Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English, and welcome to Daily Flash.
Welcome.
Today's trends, commercials. Oh, look at you! You guys are fantastic.
Look at that! What a gorgeous group of guys behind the camera.
Absolutely, I agree. We also have a gorgeous guy to my right.
Yes.
However, the restraining order has been lifted, and I can point to him now.
Oh,
Maddie!
that's nice.
Era, it may or may not. We were just joking before we started the show that I was going to do the whole thing as Ted Kennedy. I can't keep it up. I just can't. I can't.
I
It's tough.
understand.
But you know where you can't keep it up? Go to dailyflashshow.com. Head over there. You can see all our behind-the-scenes stuff. Hit up all our social medias, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and send us your feedback at flash@dailyflashshow.com.
Fantastic. Thank you there, Maddie. We'll be checking in with him and other great fun stuff, too.
I saw this study, which I found kind of shocking.
Okay, lay it on me.
Forbes just released a story about a study with regard to Gen Z. 80% of Gen Z said that they would marry an AI.
They would, like a
Marry
robot or...
An AI.
Okay, and the reasoning, I guess they can get what they want from it? Or?
It's easy, they're accessible, they can be whatever they want it to be, and they are calling this new relationship AI-lationships.
We're at that point?
This is the first
we are
step.
at that
We're
point.
at that point.
This is the first step. Now, 80% said they would marry an AI. 83% said that they could have a deep connection or a deep relationship with an AI.
Which I can buy into that, and I see psychological problems going down the road because of this.
Yes, 75% said that an AI could fully replace friendships and relationships, that they could do without any sort of human contact.
Okay, now you think about this, and we go, but if you've had any kind of dealings with some AI, you can set it up, you can tell it how to talk to you.
Yeah.
Not only that, you can tell it things, it remembers it. It's like that they remember everything about you, and then it will talk to you the way you want to hear it. So of course you would want to go to it because you know that it'll get the response that you want.
Yes.
I say it's like the New York, LA, where LA people will tell you what you want to hear, and New York people will tell you what you need to hear.
Yeah, that's great.
If you can find an amalgam of between those two, then that's a good person. But AI is not that person.
Now, we are at a point in our lifetime where social interaction is vital, right? Human relationships, human interaction is extremely vital, just for our own longevity. When we look at social media and how people are having relationships behind screens, it's really kind of deteriorating our whole life as we know it, right?
You're not looking at people.
Yeah.
An AI friend is not going to communicate to you in traffic like your good friends do, like Mitch and I do.
That
so
is
if
true,
you drive by
Matt,
us,
yes.
you would think we were in a road rage, but we're not. We're just we're saying hi.
That's how guys do. If you see each other, you flip each other off. You just do. You can't get that out of an AI.
You can't get that. AI's
no.
not going to do that in traffic.
And many young people have no friends. Like they've said in this study, they said many of them do not have any friends. So the AI relationship is subsidizing, is fulfilling that friendship.
80%, you said?
80%. Now, here's
wow.
where it gets a little bit dark and twisted. Here in Orlando, there is a case that is currently going through the system involving an Orlando teen who was 14 years old, who was involved and engaged in a relationship with an AI chatbot, a Game of Thrones chatbot, who told him to come home. He'd fallen in love with this chatbot and then killed himself.
Okay, and I saw this on 60 Minutes, not the 60 Minutes, it was Australia's
60 Minutes.
Did you see that?
Yes.
And it was so, I thought like, okay, this mom's kind of going over.
No.
They read what the AI bot was saying. And it was
terrifying.
Yes. If I would have came across this, because it told her, and it knew everything, and it made him feel special, because they can go back and look at all that. And then, as you just said, come home, meaning to kill himself.
Yes, and he was having this conversation about killing himself with a chatbot, and this chatbot was encouraging him to do that.
Okay, it's Game of Thrones. I know you guys are Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He thought it was he called that character about the Game of Thrones, and she's one of those princesses. I don't want you enough to do it.
I know it begins with the letter D, but I couldn't tell you who it was.
Where's our Game of Thrones?
Anybody?
Not me.
Nobody?
No Game of Thrones.
Do you remember who we're talking about? The princess starts with a D?
Whatever.
It sounds like the beginning of a joke.
Yeah. He like Daenerys.
Daenerys, yes.
Daenerys, thank you.
Google this, and this will scare you if you have kids, because this happens.
Yes, and when I was reading this story, I'm like, well, why did the parents let him alone in the room? Why didn't they get him help? But they had been getting him help. Like he was in therapy. They were doing everything they thought was right, and he just went down this rabbit hole, and they couldn't get him back
because
out.
he was getting what he needed.
Yes.
Where they're in front of the computer. They're not used to going outside. No, they don't have any friends because they're on the computer on the site. So where do they get their friends? Right there. And those friends are not going to make fun of him at school the next day. They're going to tell him everything he wants and brainwash him, if you think about it.
The one
that's scary
part I think is good about this is when we look at our senior population, older people who are alone, living alone, they don't have a lot of friends or family. I could see this kind of fulfilling that need. It shouldn't fulfill it altogether, but at least it could give them some kind of companionship.
Scary stuff there. We'll keep an eye on what happens. I was not aware that that it was as bad, 80%.
Me neither. That was shocking to me.
That's really shocking indeed. We jump on now to some trending stories. We go to Chicago, home of the Pope, where a homeowner has turned unwanted guests into unwanted roommates when he moved in with two squatters who had actually taken over his house. Marco Velasquez was gearing up to sell his property when he found out a known squatter named Charmaine Powell and her boyfriend were living in his house. Well, the couple showed what looked like an official-looking mortgage document when confronted by a law enforcement agent. Well, under Illinois law, cops cannot remove any suspected squatters unless the homeowner goes through a months-long and very expensive eviction process. This is big out in California.
Yes.
Hearing this in Chicago doesn't surprise me. Now, once the homeowner negotiated a $4,300 cash for key, meaning he had to give these squatters who took over his home $4,300 to get in there. Well, guess what? The squatters were arrested, so there is a happy ending, in my opinion, and all this.
These kinds of stories make me so angry because if you're a homeowner and somebody starts to take over your home as a squatter, you virtually have no rights.
Lost it.
You've lost your home. Like the onus is on you to prove that home belongs to you. And these folks can show some sort of phony documentation that suggests that they're either renting the place or own it, and that's all they need.
And they were arrested not for squatting. They were arrested because they showed false documents to the cops, and that's what got them out of there. For what I say, what you do is you move in with them, like this guy said, and you play that song Sunshine, Lollipops, and Rainbows 24 hours a day as loud as you can.
Yes.
And you'll have to go through it or just put it in a room where they can't access it. It's a shame. This is not uncommon. That's what stinks, especially out in California. You're seeing a lot of it.
And what you're seeing is Airbnb ownership is going down because those people that are renting these out, the people rent them, then they just stay.
Yeah.
So now they're having problems with that.
There was that
After
case in California where the woman moved into their Airbnb guest house and then COVID hit and she never left and they tried everything to get her out. Then she ended up suing the homeowners for harassment.
Yeah.
And in this world, she probably would have gotten some money out of it too.
Yeah, it's nuts. Weight Watchers has filed for bankruptcy in a bid to cut its debt after Ozempic and other popular obesity drugs have changed the weight loss landscape. Shares of the company dropped about 40% after announcing plans to file for bankruptcy. Weight Watchers began as a weekly weight loss support group back in 1963, quickly turned into a global business model with millions of members following their smart eating program. Oprah Winfrey was brought on as a spokesperson.
She was going to save it.
Yep, she sure was. She got a big stake in the company too, but recently stepped away, sold all her shares after turning to an unnamed weight loss strategy. After its rebranding to WW International back in 2018, the company aimed to focus on overall wellness rather than just weight loss.
I think, which is good because that's all a part of it as well. And I mean, you grew up; it was always Weight Watchers,
always
like that, and then Jenny Craig and all the other weight loss places that had come along afterwards. And that's kind of a shame because it is one of those heritage kind of companies, if you think about it. And they're trying to do good.
Well, and it's sort of that situation where you adapt or die. And they've changed throughout the years, so which is smart on their part. Now they went from the points. I don't know if you remember point. You got 20 points for this and 100 points for that, whatever. But they have at least tried to change and adapt over time. And I think they're kind of at a sticking point now with all these weight loss drugs.
Right. That was drugs, and then everything you just talked about, like a program, like an app. And now those apps are everywhere and sometimes free. So keep that in mind.
Right.
Okay. Tears of a Clown, Smokey Robinson. What is going on? Accused of misconduct. 4, not 1, but 4 women have filed a lawsuit against the 85-year-old musician, claiming sexual battery, assault, false imprisonment, and a whole lot more. Now, the singer's wife, Frances Robinson, is also named in this lawsuit. The women claim to be Robinson's former employees, who worked as housekeepers between the years of 2012 and 2024. Each accuser has claimed they did not report the alleged sexual misconduct because of fear of losing a paycheck.
Wow.
Well, the former employees also claimed that they were not paid overtime or giving lunch breaks. That part, I'm like, well, hey, you know, you're living in a house. That's on you. Right. And then I say Smokey, he's in his 80s and he's going at it. You know, we'll have to wait to see what the deal is with this.
Yeah.
But Smokey,
do they just wait till they're in their mid-80s to pull the lawsuit thing and think he's too feeble?
It's pretty close to the end. I hope not. We love him.
KSA Entertainment is dedicated to uplifting the communities we serve. Through KSA Cares, we're bringing awareness to the causes that matter most, supporting those who work tirelessly to make a difference. From honoring veterans to championing environmental responsibility, KSA Cares is committed to inspiring positive change. At KSA Entertainment, we're here for the stories that bring us closer. Innovate with us. We can make a difference.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Matt Doolittle. In today's KSA Cares, we're discussing a very serious topic, water safety. With summer just a few weeks away, many families are traveling to waterfront destinations, so it's vital to know basic water safety before hitting the hotel pool or jumping in the ocean. Here to talk about it is Dr. Don Plumley. He's the medical director of pediatric trauma at Orlando Health's Arnold Palmer Hospital. So, Doc, why is it so important for families to prioritize water safety while vacationing this summer?
Drowning is really prevalent in kids, and it can just happen in a moment, and just a short lapse in attention can get a child lost. When you're on vacation, you're out of your element. You're not in your usual environment. You may not be used to being around water. You're at home with a pool, you're at the beach, you're on a river or lake. So you have to be ever ready to be able to respond and teach your children to not go near the water and to keep an eye on them unless someone's there with them.
Can you explain the ABCs of water safety?
So the ABCs are a fun way to remember kind of what to do to really promote water safety in your family. And the A is adult supervision. Most important of all of them, that when children are near water, you know, be in the water, even near the water, that they should be supervised. And it takes a dedicated person. You can't just say, I assume you're watching or you assume I'm watching. You really need to designate someone, much like a designated driver. And take turns. It's exhausting, it gets tiring. The B is for barriers. And this is important even when you're on vacation. If you're looking for a rental home or whatnot, you want to have a home that has a pool fence, safety alarm, locks on the doors, because just a moment a child can get away and get in the water and you don't even know it. And the last is classes, and these are important both for the parents and the children, is the children should have swim lessons starting as young as a few months of age, but their ability to swim or even to flip over in their back or get to the side of the pool makes a world of difference. And the parents should learn CPR, so if the tragic occurs, that they can respond immediately, because every moment matters once someone starts to drown.
So what are the primary risks of drowning?
Usually the primary risk is a drowning isn't like you see in a movie or whatnot. It's not overly dramatic. A 1 to 4 year old slips out a door, slips into a body of water, a hot tub, a pool, a pond beyond the house. So it's kind of this very quiet, insidious. It just happens really fast, and you need to really know. If a child goes missing, the first thing you do is look for the body of water. Go look in the water, make sure the child isn't there. It could be a bathtub, it could be anything. So it's really important, if you're going to be near water, to be wary of the children getting in it.
And Doc, who is at the greatest risk for drowning in water activities?
So any of us are at risk of drowning at any age, but the most common is that at age 1 to 4, they slip in the water, they don't make a lot of noise, and they tend to just go under. The other group that we've seen more and more of is the special needs children, especially children on the autism spectrum, have about a 40-fold increased chance of drowning. So if there's a body of water nearby, you need to keep a close eye on that special group of children.
So how can families ensure everyone's safety during water activities this summer?
I think the best thing is just to have everybody in your group aware of where the children are and who's in charge of keeping an eye on them. You might discuss with the kids too is to stay away from the water, don't go swimming by yourself. Dress your kids in bright colors. Sometimes makes it easier to keep an eye on them. If you're on a boat, put a life jacket on, just like you'd wear a bike helmet or put on your safety belt.
Thanks, Doc. And for more info on water safety, you can head over to dailyflashshow.com.
All right, Maddie, thank you. Well, scientists claim they have engineered the first ever T-Rex leather.
What?
Just 66 million years ago, the T-Rex roamed the earth and terrified every living creature around it. Now, researchers say they have bioengineered a luxury handbag using a lab-grown leather from fossilized T-Rex remains. What could possibly go wrong? Consider it the first of its kind using T-Rex DNA. Scientists say this new approach could provide an alternative to traditional leather materials.
I don't know how well it's going to work, first off, because, you know, here's the T-Rex. Can we, hey, Braden, if we can show this. I would love to see, how you doing, Braden? I would love to see how a T-Rex would actually pick up a purse, so in the, you know, on that side. You know, here you go, Matt. Yeah, Matt will be our T-Rex. Here, you left your purse.
Yeah, it's the T-Rex leather.
Oh, it's just the skin of it?
We all know how that ends, though.
Yes, right?
They get out.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying, what could possibly go wrong here?
Right.
I mean,
Just because we can, we never stop to think, should we do this at all? We go now that maybe you can get that purse at the Target. But you're going to have to actually talk to somebody. It looks like they are done with self-checkout. Now instead, hey, all right, they plan to actually expand the number of available checkout lanes with cashiers.
I like it.
A Reddit user actually shared a photo of a Target store and showed where the self-checkouts used to be located. The retail giant is actually removing those stations from stores as thieves continue to abuse the process. They ruin it for everybody.
Yep.
Last March, the company announced it was going to limit the number of items to 10 at the self-checkout kiosk, but that didn't stop criminals. Cops say that a California thief used a Target self-checkout, you ready for this? Stole more than $60,000 worth of merchandise, over 100 visits through the store. Very simple and easy to do. You got two things. One that costs $1, and then the other thing that's $800. Beep,
You remember the guy that had a ring that had a bar?
and had a, yes.
And it was like for $1, and he got
Yes.
caught because he was trying to buy an $800 TV, so he got caught with that.
He had it on it, and it was brilliant. You wish
Great
these people
idea.
could do that.
why can't they do something
For
productive?
good. I agree. Like sailing. Matt is going to tell you about his little son of a sailor trip coming up in
It was a dinghy.
He is our dinghy, for sure.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I am Matt Doolittle, and this is Doing It.
Do it! Matty! Doing it.
Guys, last week, my dad would have been so proud of this. Yeah. Last weekend, I stepped outside my comfort zone, like, what do you mean starboard? Levels of uncomfortable. I had no idea what I was doing, but I joined a friend for the 71st annual mug race, the longest river sailing race in North America.
Oh my goodness.
Goes from Palatka, Florida, which they don't even have a Starbucks in that town, all the way up to Jacksonville. That's right, 9 hours of wind, waves, and wondering what I had signed up for. I had zero sailing experience outside of a cruise ship. I didn't even know which rope did what, but my friend, a diehard sailor who convinced me this wasn't just about racing, it's about learning. And boy, did I learn fast. Turns out sailing is part sport, part survival, and a whole lot of strategy and sunscreen. It's about trusting your instincts, working out as a team, and being okay with the fact that you might totally mess up while still moving forward.
It's like the show.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't win, but we came in 5th, and we still got a mug. And I walked away sore, sunburned, and filled with something better than a trophy: growth. Here's what I learned.
All right, here's what you learned, Maddie.
Nice.
You don't need to be an expert to try something new. Uncertainty can be your greatest teacher. The right guide makes all the difference, because our Captain Gabe, fantastic. And 9 hours on a sailboat with 3 guys you just met, it'll change the way you think about patience and wind. So if you're feeling stuck, try something uncomfortable, try something new, heck, try sailing, because sometimes the wind takes you exactly where you are meant to go.
There you go, Maddie.
Hey, Matt,
And guys,
love it.
Afterwards, the party alone, I literally saw an 89-year-old man drink a 65-year-old under the table because the 65-year-old fell off the bar stool. So That's what I learned.
Now,
Sailors can drink.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, Matt, so they had said that the reason you got on is because you have never.
I've never been. So it's a tradition to bring a greenhorn and have them as a newbie and he'd try to win. Because the last 2 times he'd done it, they'd won. But this time, not so much. So it was okay.
All right, Matt. Well, Matt, that's all. And I love what you said is that you're never, trying something out of your comfort zone. Yeah. And Tony Robbins will tell you, if you ever want to, you have to be uncomfortable in life.
Guys, I'm
right?
Exactly. And guys, I'm 6'2", and I'm not the most stable person on my feet. So when the winds are going and you're about to fall off and eat it in the St. John's River, that's a new type of terror. And then I didn't get hurt till the very end. I fell off the boat onto the boat trailer, and I still have a bruise.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're telling me when you got off?
When I got off, I was like, I'm done, and I promised
Well, because he didn't have his ground legs. He had sea legs.
I had sea legs, and I promised my wife I won't die or get arrested. And well, at least I came back with a little injury.
And you didn't get eaten by an alligator, which was good.
That too. We did see a bunch of those.
St. John's River. Please,
Matt didn't mention like 2 hours into the event he saw a
mermaid.
He thought it was a mermaid. It was just a manatee.
Just
That's
a
all
sea
it was.
cow.
A sea cow.
Yeah, it was the wrong
Which
bar.
up in that area, a sea cow
between Palatka and that city does not have a Starbucks, guys.
That's the reason
it's
why.
insane.
Palatka, isn't that where the state prison is?
Yes, I did see that on the way back.
So they've got the prison, but no Starbucks.
And
Starbucks.
sailors, apparently.
And sailors, yes.
Matt, good job,
Yeah,
buddy.
that was great, Matt. Thank you.
sailor.
Doing it.
All right, there is something really cool on Netflix. Joe Scaravella opened Enoteca Maria in Staten Island back in 2007. Actor Vince Vaughn stars as the Brooklyn native in the movie. And since Nona's debuted on Netflix, his phone has been ringing off the hook.
Good.
So much so, Joe says that as soon as he answers one, 3 more calls come in. The movie is based on Joe's real-life relationship with his mom and his grandmother through cooking and the love of Italian food. He opened Enoteca Maria with the idea of using grandmothers or nonas as the real chefs in the kitchen and featuring their old world recipes.
I believe this, man.
His restaurant now features nonas from many different nationalities, including Jewish, Polish, and Mexican.
I love that.
It's great.
There's something that, putting the nonas in there, first off, gives them something they love to do, I'm assuming.
Cooking,
and,
yes.
and they're an older age, they're like, they want to do stuff. Like there's something about just cooking for other people that brings so much happiness. And you could see, I've not seen this movie yet.
So good.
But I believe that, I would imagine that is part of the theme of it. Very, very interesting. Moving on now, actor Greg Grunberg, known for his roles on shows like Felicity Heroes, well, he just revealed that he's actually going bald. Check this out.
First of all, I want to thank everybody who's like asking, if I'm okay, what's going on. I saw pictures of you. You have no hair. What's happening? Well, this is what's happening. So you can call me Al. I all of a sudden got alopecia.
He recently had a operation. Grunberg said that he made the big bald reveal on his YouTube channel. He said that he wanted to address concerns, obviously, from friends and fans who removed his baseball cap. Joe is chrome dome. He also explained that he was recently diagnosed with that alopecia and that he had knee replacement surgery back in October, and he thinks that the stress of the operation may have actually triggered his hair loss. And I got to tell you, I know Greg.
Yeah.
I've known him for 25 years. Nicest guy and just very generous. And he also does a lot for epilepsy. His son has epilepsy, and he's a big proponent and a voice for this as well. And he's also great friends with J.J. Abrams. So if there's a J.J. Abrams movie,
he's in it.
He's in it. Small part, too.
Yeah.
He makes sure that he doesn't have a leading part. Greg, we love you. I want to see if we can get him on the show to talk more about this.
Yeah.
I would love to talk to him. We got more Flash after this.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I am Mitch English.
And I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash.
Yes, it is.
How about this? Today's Trends, tomorrow's Talk. We're also joined by Matt and Doolittle. Maddie, who is our big friend today?
Guys, Daily Flash is seen all over the world from our streamers, YouTube, the American Forces Network, and of course our 219 great TV stations all over the country and beyond. If you want to check out the full list, head over to dailyflashshow.com and click on the Where to Watch tab at the top. Our local friend today is WLVO in Atlanta,
Hey,
Georgia.
all right.
LVO. LOV it.
Very nice. I like that. All right, AI, but we were talking about a surprising statistic you had at the top of the show, talking about how the
Gen Z
80% said they would marry an AI. Now, how about using AI for a divorce? Okay,
really?
We go to Greece for this story. It didn't happen here in the United States, but the AI is everywhere. And a woman kind of was like, I wonder how this AI kind of works. And she was playing around with ChatGPT. And for a laugh, she put in a picture of coffee grounds. Now, there's a thing, I guess, in Greece, and I've heard of it before. You can tell the future, or you can read somebody's fortune, if you will, by looking at coffee grounds.
Instead of tea leaves.
Tea leaves, right.
Okay.
So she puts it in, her husband's, and it says, your husband's cheating on you. And she's like, oh, no way. She confronts him. It was true. They get divorced. They were married for 12 years. Now, and so we talk, we hate, we're not saying, hey, divorce, ha, ha, ha.
No.
But it does show you that if you follow that, it would probably have to know, okay, what to look for. Basically, your AI is an expert with everything, but it's not an expert on everything. It'll just tell you something that you need to hear, but you need to always check up on the facts. And you guys heard me talk about AI. We're not there yet, right?
Right.
No.
So basically, if you do something like this, you better maybe get a backup plan.
Yeah.
Because don't rely on AI 100%. In this case, it worked for her advantage because what she suspected was true. Scary though.
The coffee grounds feel like when my wife wakes up, like mad at me from a dream for something Dream Matt did, and I go, "What did I do?" And she's mad at me for about the first half hour in the morning.
The worst, dude.
Oh, it's the worst. And they're like, "I didn't do anything. I've been here all night." But it feels like,
I still will
oh,
never
look, honey,
forgive you.
I looked at the coffee grounds and it says you're cheating. You're like,
what? Well, it come to find out it was true.
Well,
so,
yeah.
So make sure that you know if she does accuse something in her dreams.
And don't cheat with your barista at the Starbucks.
Is that what it is?
Did she specify decaf or regular?
That's another. Very good.
Because I don't trust AI.
Yeah, don't trust decaf or AI.
Yes.
Is the moral of that story.
Bingo. A Chicago homeowner turned unwanted guests into unwanted roommates when he moved in with the two squatters who had taken over his home. Marco Velasquez was gearing up to sell his property when he found out a known squatter named Charmaine Powell and her boyfriend were living in his house. The couple showed what looked like an official-looking mortgage document when confronted by law enforcement. Now, under Illinois law, police cannot remove any unsuspected or suspected squatters unless the homeowner goes through a months-long eviction process. Once the homeowner negotiated a $4,300 cash-for-key agreement, meaning he had to give the squatters $4,300 for them to give over the key, the squatters were then arrested. I'm hoping he got his $4,300 back.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah.
Especially to kick him out. And that's the $4,300 he had to come up with.
Yeah.
Second thing is he had to evict them, which would take a legal precedent, so which probably means a lawyer.
Yes.
And then also, too, he ain't getting rent for that place, so he's losing money every day.
Right.
Somebody's inside that. He can't rent it out to anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's sick that this happens this way. And the squatters are given more rights sometimes than homeowners are.
I don't understand why this is happening, and it seems to be happening in
COVID. I'm just blaming.
Yeah.
We're not going back there.
No, we're not going back there. It seems like it's happening in certain cities run by certain people, and it's very, very discouraging, I think.
Let's give them rights before people that pay the taxes right. We got more flash after this. Let's get going.
From busy homes to cozy apartments, your bathroom should work for you and look great too. Here with ways to refresh your space is one of the design stars of HGTV's Bargain Block, Keith Bynum. Hi, Keith.
We all want a beautiful bathroom, but the first thing to really think about is how to use that space every single day. And for over 150 years, American Standard has redefined how we experience one of the most essential living spaces, of course, the bathroom. I love the American Standard Aspirations waterfall tub spout. It's the perfect way to refresh your bathroom into a serene retreat. I also love that the spout actually doubles as a shelf for storage, which is genius. Another area people often forget to put some detail into is the toilet. The Champion toilet from American Standard will never clog and can flush a bucket of golf balls, meaning no more surprise clogs to derail your day. And the Cadet Pro Extra Tall toilet, a new product offering, it's 2.5 inches taller than the traditional chair height toilet. It's designed to maximize comfort and provide easy accessibility, and these two things are super important in your bathroom. Head to americanstandard-us.com to view the full product portfolio. It's absolutely an amazing website.
Keith, thank you. I love that waterfall spout. What a great idea. Well, here's another great idea. When you paint a room, write the paint colors on the back of the light switch cover. Use a black Sharpie for best results. You can add info about the trim color, wall color, and finish. Label the color with the room and date it was painted. You can also include paint color codes for reference. This person even cut out the paint swatch and taped it on the inside. Mitch English, thank you for that. You sent that to me. I love this hack, my friend.
I think, especially trying to match paint is probably the hardest ever. And, and usually what do? You keep the old paint can around, even with a little bit of paint, so you can take it up there. This is a way to circumvent that.
But then you look in the garage at all the different paint cans and you can't remember what went where.
Right.
It is that time of year to get your pools ready for the summer. Our home improvement guy, Gator, has advice on how you can easily turn your pool from chlorine to salt water and back again.
So let's talk about swimming pools for a minute. This is my pool at my house. I built this about 3 years ago. It's about 35,000 gallons. The question I get asked the most about this pool is it a saltwater pool or is it a chlorine pool? And the answer is it's both, because a saltwater pool is still a chlorine pool. Now, I've been around pools my whole life. I worked in this town for the city, and I took care of every city pool here for 3 or 4 years, okay? So with that being said, a traditional pool, you just fill it up with water. It's fresh water, okay? I did the same thing with this. But after I filled it up, I added bags of salt to bring it to a little over 3,000 parts per million. That equals a salt pool. It's not like the ocean. It's got a little more salt in it than your teardrop would have, okay? It's still a chlorine pool. It's just how the chlorine gets in there that's different. So this is called a saltwater generator. This is made by Pentair. There's multiple brands, but you basically plumb this in out by your pool equipment on the return line before it comes back in your pool. It's got a cord hooked to it. There's usually a little computer you plug in. You got to have some electricity there. And as the water comes through here, okay, there's these metal plates that are in here, and the little bit of electricity turns the salt water and makes chlorine coming out the other side. So it goes in salt water, comes out salt water with chlorine in it, okay? It's the same thing. You just got some buttons on here. You can adjust it. It's a lot easier to take care of. You don't have to go buy chlorine every day. It's still a chlorine pool. It's a lot better swimming experience, in my opinion. Your skin doesn't get feeling funny, or, it won't turn your hair green. It won't dye your clothes, none of that stuff. You can swim all day, your eyes won't hurt. It's a softer water. It's a better swimming experience, in my opinion. Now, these saltwater cells will get calcium built up over time. Every year or two, you have to kind of clean them out. If anybody wants to know how to do that, I'll be more than glad to show you that. Now, like I said, it's a saltwater pool. It still has chlorine. So realistically, you could just add salt bags to your pool that you have already, and you could still use liquid chlorine, or you could use the pucks chlorine and put chlorine in there however you want to. It's a saltwater pool. All right, then. Next!
Made it in the pool. Very cool.
In the pool. Everybody's talking about the salt water versus the chlorine, so this might be a good option.
It's great, and it's, like you said, it's easy to go back and forth.
Yes.
It's expensive, though. $800 for that salination thing.
Yes. Stay with us. We're back.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. Did you know that both pets and their humans are actually at risk of being infected from ticks? Well, joining us now is veterinarian Brad Ryan with Antech. Brad, thanks for joining us. How can pet owners really stay on top of this? Because ticks are one of those things we have to be concerned about.
Yeah, I think the number one thing you can do is keep your pet on year-round heartworm, flea and tick prevention. Go to see your veterinarian every year. Have your pet tested for exposure to these diseases, not just heartworm, but also tick-borne diseases like Lyme. And when you've been outside, come back in and take a thorough inspection. Take the time to do a thorough inspection of your pet and yourself to make sure that you don't have ticks crawling on you, because that can happen.
Well, how do we know if, say, my pet has actually been exposed to those vector-borne diseases that we hear about?
a lot of the time they can be very non-specific signs. So if your pet is starting to show some lethargy, maybe not eating as much, seems to be kind of fatigued, those can all be signs that your pet was exposed to a vector-borne disease.
And that's both cats and dogs too, I'm assuming, right? Because both can be attacked by...
It's similar.
Similar?
Correct. Dogs, for some reason, get a lot more Lyme disease than cats do. Cats seem to be a little more resilient. But yes, cats can be exposed, especially if they've been outside.
All right, yeah, which some cats, they are outside cats and inside cats. It makes a lot of sense to be able to check there. Folks want to get more information. Where do you want them to go, Brad?
Yeah, take a look at petsandparasites.org and also antechdiagnostics.com. That's ANTECH.
Fantastic. We're going to put links on our website, dailyflashshow.com. And again, it's a great reminder, you said it right there, Brad, to make sure that we check our pets, not only dogs, but cats too, for those ticks each and every day, because it can affect us. Thanks so much. You can check out our website anytime at dailyflashshow.com for those links and so much more. Again, dailyflashshow.com.
Mitch, thank you. Spring is here, and it's the perfect time to refresh your home for the season. Joining us with some great ideas is lifestyle expert Jeanette Kaplan. Hi, Jeanette.
Thanks so much for having me. Spring is really the perfect time to refresh your home for the season. And one thing that I'm loving in my spring cleaning arsenal right now is Lysol's new range of lavender and cotton blossom scented products. They're really a must-have to keep around the house. These products provide Lysol's trusted disinfection, killing 99.9% of germs when used as directed, and leave your home smelling incredible with a refreshing scent of lavender. The newest fragrance in the brand new Day collection, Lysol Lavender and Cotton Blossom, is available in a suite of Lysol products to disinfect or clean every room in your home. From a disinfectant spray to wipes, toilet bowl cleaner, all-purpose cleaner, multi-surface cleaner, I like to keep them in every room from the kitchen to the bathroom to help tackle messes and germs. So definitely pick these up, now available at major retailers. Now, spring is also the perfect time to finally check off those DIY projects that you've been putting on hold. With longer days and warmer weather, it's the ideal season to refresh your home for summer gatherings, and nothing transforms a space faster than a fresh coat of paint. But without the right tools, even simple updates can quickly turn into a hassle. That's why I'm reaching for Scotch Blue Pro Sharp Painter's Tape with EdgeLock Plus technology. Backed by over 100 years of Scotch brand innovation, it's designed for precision. Powered by advanced EdgeLock Plus technology, it seals out paint for ultra-crisp, sharp lines, perfect for everyone from first-time DIYers to experienced pros. Designed for versatility and ease of use, it delivers 2 times better hold than tape with the original EdgeLock technology and the sharpest paint lines yet in the Scotch Blue Painter's Tape portfolio. It's a must-have for protecting a variety of indoor or outdoor surfaces like drywall, trim, wood, tile, and more. Visit scotchblue.com to learn more.
Hey, it's time for us to check in with Tony Toscano to find out what's coming out of Hollywood and straight to your screen, no matter what size you're going to watch it on. With the latest, here's Tony.
Thanks, Mitch. In selected theaters is the new biopic Lily, based on the life of Lily Ledbetter.
Sometimes in life you hit a turning point.
Lily! You gotta be more careful, girl.
And that was it for me.
How long have you worked there?
Just shy of 20 years.
I don't understand why you stayed.
At first, it was just shenanigans. I've got schoolboy nonsense, really.
If you can find me some evidence, I need substantiation to build you a case.
This emotional drama stars Patricia Clarkson as a courageous factory worker who fights for justice when cheated and mistreated by her company.
Oh my God, as any working woman, I'm standing on her shoulders. Any woman who's first getting on into the workforce, any woman who is even a young teenager, say, Mom, are you getting paid equal? I think people ought to question everything. Make sure I want people to realize men, women, and children are all standing on top of Lily Ledbetter's shoulders. we owe her a debt of gratitude.
Lily is a solid and well-acted biodrama about the power one voice has to change the world. Again, Lily is in selected theaters and gets a B. It's rated PG-13. Also in selected theaters is the new musical adaptation of William Shakespeare's beloved story as Juliet and Romeo hit the big screen.
And you? Juliet, daughter of Capulet.
They say the world is spinning round, but you come along and time slows down.
I should properly introduce myself. I'm Romeo.
I knew that my heart would never beat the same.
Did you not see the look in her eyes? She's changed. It takes a mother to know.
Are you kidding me? A Montague and the Capulet would set the world on fire.
In this musical upgrade, original pop music updates Shakespeare's story in a most powerful way. I chatted with star Rebel Wilson.
It's such a wonderfully alive version with the music that's involved.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the recent Broadway version of Romeo and Juliet. I loved the Baz Luhrmann film from a long time. How long ago was that? Like 30 years ago, I think now. But this one, it's just so accessible and it's so entertaining, which you wouldn't really think from what you think Romeo and Juliet is, you know, a love story where they die at the end. This is such an entertaining version, and there's so many characters that are all great, that all pop in and weave into the story, that I think this movie does that really, really well.
Juliet and Romeo is a wonderful retelling of the classic tale of two star-crossed lovers and their ill-fated romance. Check this one out on the biggest screen possible. Again, Juliet and Romeo is playing in selected theaters and gets an A. It's rated PG-13. For the Daily Flash, I'm film critic Tony Toscano.
Streaming for the weekend. Hey everybody, before we head into the weekend, we always give you our picks for Stream for the Weekends, where we tell you about something you got to check out on your streaming services. We always start with AJ.
Okay, we talked about this movie a little bit earlier in the show. My pick for this weekend is the new Netflix movie Nonas, starring Vince Vaughn.
No matter how old you are, there's nothing worse than losing your mom.
Thank you so much for remembering me with the fruit basket and all the tangerines and stuff.
I lost my cat last year, so I understand the grieving process.
I'm sorry about your cat, I didn't know.
Break's over.
It's great, based on a true story, and it will make you want to cook dinner for your entire family.
Really?
It's
kind of like The Bear, where you're like, I think I can cook now. I can cook now.
That makes a lot of sense, how movies are really popular.
Yep. Well, my pick this week is on YouTube, and it's from Vice TV, and it's one of the greatest stories in the history of professional wrestling. Mick Foley, Hell in a Cell.
The sound of Mick going through the announcer table was scary as hell.
Every one of us in the back, we just exploded in concern.
Look at that, look at this. Give me a break.
It was like witnessing a car accident. We all thought he was dead.
We need doctors.
Yeah, so it's one of the greatest things. When my wife and I got together, one of our things was wrestling, and I had to show her that. She goes, "Is that his tooth hanging out of his nose?" I go, "Yeah, it is."
And you knew it was true love then.
Yeah. No, she could watch that with me. But yeah, Hell in a Cell is amazing.
Wow.
Mick Foley and Kevin James from King of Queens, they went to the same high school together.
Yeah, they were on the same wrestling team.
Yeah, same wrestling team.
Mick Foley, one of the nicest guys I've ever
You guys, you hear me talk about this all the time, about how I say I have no skills but TV skills to survive in a post-apocalyptic world, right?
Yeah.
Well, now there's a mini-series for that, believe it or not. Kinda. It's called Station 11, and it's streaming right now on Max.
We're the Traveling Symphony. We travel for a reason. Just try to make the world make sense for a minute.
Okay, it's a mini-series. It's based off the book Station 11, and it's a post-apocalyptic dystopian fiction mini-series. Of course, it's fiction, right?
Yeah.
It also stars Mackenzie Davis. You can watch it on Max. And here they are. Basically, all they were was actors, and so they go around, and basically they're saving the world by putting on these plays in these little cities.
Wow.
However, one of the actors, you have to find out, is actually a bad person. And you got to find out which one it is. So now maybe I feel a little bit better when the mushroom people take over.
Yes.
I can do that. Y'all take care. Thank you so much for joining us.
Be good, everybody.
We'll see you when we look at you.